Welcome back everyone to theCUBE's live coverage here at Google Next 25. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE with Dave Vellante, Savannah Peterson, Paul Nishwati from the theCUBE research team, breaking down all the analysis here at Google and talking about everything from AI infrastructure changing, evolving, security paradigm changing, agents are coming, the role of data and software is super critical, and of course, the hardware advances. Palo Alto Networks is here in theCUBE. Munish Khetrapal is VP of Cloud Engagement at Palo Alto Networks. Munish, great to see you again.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Google Next, but also we talked with Stephen Orban recently in the Marvel series about the success you're having at Google Cloud with Palo Alto Networks. Obviously, everyone knows who you guys are, but you guys have some news you shared here at the show. I want to get to that right away. And of course, we're going to talk about the role of software, how that's changing, and how software is built with this new generative AI era. But you got some news around how much sales you're doing through Google Cloud.
Through the marketplace, so just taking a step back, we are the largest pure play cybersecurity provider, and Nikesh, our chairman and CEO, about last August, 23 August, announced the platformization initiative, which basically said that if customers are looking at a lot of cybersecurity problems where average we are looking at 25% of the customers today, the data is accelerating in 5 hours. In 2020, it was 9 weeks. They have 84 different security products today. And these 84 different products need to be platformized. So we went into this platformization initiative, and Google is a strategic partner of ours, and we have driven over $1.5 billion of sale through Google Marketplace. We enjoy the partnership.
$1.5 billion through Google Marketplace, which means that's a go-to-market for you guys.
That's right.
That's sales.
That's sales.
Of
that's
Palo
right.
Alto.
That's
okay,
right.
so what year did you guys do the platforming? I forgot what year it was. When did you guys really take up the platform view? What year did you guys start really nailing that down?
Last summer, right?
It was last summer. That's really when we went in and announced the platform view. We have been building best-of-breed technologies for 14 or 15 years. We have 24 leading technologies, each of them great in their own area.
But Nikesh declared the death of best of breed in our little analyst roundtable, meaning platforms are going to replace best of breed. It was very controversial, so I put out a post, and then our John Olczyk, who's with us now, you know, he's like, created a nice debate about best of breed, and of course, it's an ongoing debate within the customer base, but look, it's clearly working. You guys have momentum, with platformization. We're going to obviously measure that. It is hard for practitioners to reduce from, what'd you say, 82? Because it's just some new toy that comes out all the time that plugs a hole.
Absolutely.
And people gravitate to it.
Absolutely, and in the world of AI, it's just, I think there's no debate anymore. If you take the Forbes 100, 50 of them have, in the last 18 months, already gone on Palo Alto Networks platforms.
Yep.
Pretty much every top 2,000 customers has at least used one or two of our platforms. So I think the debate of platforms is over. It's a question of adoption cycle.
Now, BJ gave several examples, and then I want to throw out Nir, we were talking earlier, Nir, when I met with him in one-on-one, he said, forget about today's security stack. Their AI renders and automation renders, all of that essentially ineffective. I'm like, explain that. He said, look, we could stop 99% of the attacks previously, and then 1% humans could deal with. But now, with generative AI, the attackers can scale phishing attacks, for example, at unprecedented levels. Humans can't handle it anymore.
Absolutely.
So you can only fight automation with automation, period, the end. So AI has to be infused in the entire security stack.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the question then is, why Palo Alto? Are you an AI company?
We are a cybersecurity company where AI is the most important asset for us. So we have been collecting data from 2007, 2008. We have the largest real-time database of threat intelligence that exists in the world, 9 petabytes of data a day. Just to give you a scale of what
Unit 42, right?
Unit
Those
42.
guys.
9 petabytes is like 15 New York public libraries, which is the largest public library on a daily basis, just on threat intelligence.
In a beautiful building.
Just to give you an analysis of how much data.
Massive data, tsunami.
Massive data. And then you need AI to process it, because now you have to look at zero-day threats, you have to look at all types of different attacks that are coming through different vectors with AI adoption across enterprise.
And the other thing Nir said to me, I learned so much in 20 minutes just talking to the guy. He said, because I was pushing him on the data consolidation and the single data platform, and he says, It's not so much, it is the consolidation, but it's more important to have the access to the right data at the right time. Kind of what you were talking about before, that example you gave off camera, you got to get to 4 different data sources. Having the right data allows you to respond before the exfiltration occurs.
Absolutely. So if you look at the point products and where they really fail, is you've got a great product that does only VPN, and then you have got somebody else who does the firewall. Then you have somebody else who takes care of cloud security, somebody else who takes care of the data security. What happens is if there's an attacker, the attacker is coming in as a phishing email or has tried to try the password a couple of times, but the agent that provides that information, you lose sight of that attacker went in, then hacked into the system, escalated its privileges, and then moved those privileges to access data and exfiltrate data. If you have a platform, you can connect the dots. Oh, somebody entered that email twice, and then immediately after that he went into a system he wasn't supposed to go, and then after that he looked at the data he wasn't supposed to get to, and that interconnection can happen only with data and platforms, and that's why I think we are unique.
Munish, talk about the success with Google Marketplace and how that relates to the AI revolution. We heard Google on stage on the keynote say
yes,
they're the only cloud that has Gen AI in all modalities.
right.
Oh, so that's good for them. Good job, Google. But what does it mean for security? What are the use cases that you see evolving that the platform's enabling? Where are you guys seeing the Gen AI for security, and where's the security for Gen AI?
Yeah. So we have taken an approach where we have been developing over 5,000 models that we have developed over the last 15, 16 years. And in security, we have to be right every time. Because if you're wrong once, we fail. The attacker has to be right only once to enter a system. So what we looked at is we looked at machine learning, we looked at neural networks, and we used the combination of generative AI to now start building what we call precision AI that ties together the best of the AI world to enable us to automate our platforms and technologies to drive.
I've been saying on theCUBE, I don't know how many years I've been saying this, but recently a lot, past 2 years.
Yes.
In the past year specifically, security, cybersecurity vertical, or in section, or what do you want to call it, sector,
yes,
is probably the best use case of where the talent, the people actually writing code, building platforms, like Palo Alto, represent the broader Gen AI space.
That's right.
Because it's real time,
yes,
multiple databases, you said platforms to connect the dots are needed, and just the inbound data tsunami of red teaming, blue teaming, just all the work that gets to get done to defend, protect, remediate, all those things, generations of talent have been working on,
right,
is the same kind of, it rhymes with all the things we're hearing in other, I would say slow moving verticals,
right,
that now have to deal with a resilience bar that's super high on production. With Gen AI, you're starting to see data threats. So it's almost as if it really is a cybersecurity business now, tech.
Yeah.
And just from a technical perspective, in Google on stage today, full stack approach. Again, another theme we're hearing.
Yeah.
What does this tell us about our future? Because if software does need to be rewritten, how do you frame that? Scope for us what all this means, because you guys have been dealing with all this, which is why you're first mover on some of these key advantages and these breakthroughs. I think you're a tell sign for the rest of the industry at large.
Yep.
How do you frame that? How do you scope it? What is happening?
If you take a little bit of a step back before I answer the cybersecurity question, what's happening in the enterprise IT world? Enterprise IT over the last 50 years has only operated in one model at a fundamental level. There's a system, it's your mobile phone, your desktop, or your laptop, all accessing something in some central place. Whether it's client server, whether it's mainframe access, virtualization, cloud computing, it's always about accessing a central database.
Yes.
But with AI, that's changing. With agents, you're talking about what, 15 billion agents that are going to be in the workforce by 2030. That's the amount of data you're going to generate, and that's the amount of thinking you're going to go. So it's going to be a completely distributed architecture, which means every enterprise will need to spend money to evolve their current enterprise architecture. And even a simple prompt and an example of how a prompt connects to 4 or 5 subsystems to collect the data, it's going to dismantle the concept of security in the software. And I think security will become part of the operating system, it'll become part of the middleware, it'll interconnect the different applications, because one of the value that security can bring, and this is the first time I can say this, cybersecurity is always about insurance, it's always about protecting yourself. But this is the first time, it's like, why do you have brakes in a race car? to drive faster, not to break.
Right.
Why do you need transformation in your workforce and in your AI enterprise that you're deploying? You need security that allows you to take risk at a higher level without exposing the brand and the company and the IP.
So you're thinking about agents right now, I'm sure, because agents will come into the fold.
Yes.
Because today's point about who's going to solve all these inbound machine attacks
That's
or
so true.
things, events,
Yes.
call them events,
Yes.
because you generically say an event's an event. How do you look at the agent wave coming? Obviously security built in from day one, I get that, but what technically has to happen? What's the sequence of events?
So, agents became a fancy word 6 months back.
Yeah.
We have 7.5 million agents forecasted
Yeah.
to be enabled in an enterprise by the end of this calendar year. 15 billion by end of 2030.
Yeah.
So that means your workforce today, give and take, is about 1.5 billion people in the workforce. You're going to have 10 times more of the workforce. That means you're going to have 10 times more of complexity.
What is
10 times more of
What is the role of a security operator? I just made the term up, popped in my head. But network operator, we've heard that term, database administrator, these are concepts that have been around for generations. Now the role of NOCs and SOCs are changing, because how do you operate a fleet of agents when they become more than just a technical feature for evaluating packet movement, software patterns of users? Now you got to holistically think, almost like, what did Jensen call it at CES? IT's going to turn into the HR department for agents. That was the haymaker he threw.
It absolutely is.
And he's not wrong if you take it, but there will be a role for the human.
Yes.
How do you view that?
Same example of what do you do with taxi and Uber drivers when you have Tesla as an autonomous car that's going to be there. So security is going to be autonomous. It's going to be collecting data, it's going to be managing data, it's going to be managing flows. The role of the security operator will be less about how do you run security and threats and attacks, it's how do you orchestrate and govern it. What policies you want to implement. It'll become more of a policy maker. I use this airport example quite frequently. You have Google, you have NVIDIA who build the best planes, who build the best infrastructure, and then they build the best security as well. But as a passenger, a wrong passenger can enter a wrong plane and it can be a disaster in several different ways. That's where Palo Alto comes in. You become TSA security and you become baggage routing facility and boarding facility. But then you have a role for an enterprise control tower, an airport control center. Which plane takes off when? When do you land? Which passenger schedule? And that's the role of a new security operator.
So it's a shared responsibility model.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's shared.
Absolutely.
The airport's a shared responsibility model.
Yeah, and it's a joint responsibility model, more than shared.
One of the things we heard at Ignite in New York City, which was an interesting concept and talked to a lot of people about it, was wartime versus peacetime security. Explain what you guys mean by that and how you see that evolving.
So, the role of a security operator, if you think about if you're in a SOC operating environment till a couple of years back, and of course the people who have advanced their SOC operations have seen their lives change. You had 15,000 alarms and events happening on a daily basis. You have a team of 10 people, how are you going to handle 15,000 alarms? So it was always tactical, it was always reactive, you're looking at what's the next best, whoever cries the most. But if you can automate that and bring them down to 7 or 10 attacks on a daily basis, now that role of that operator spends 1 hour on the tactical stuff and 7 hours thinking about how to automate playbooks, how to improve security posture, how to increase the ability for security to add value to the business. And I think that becomes a more strategic role.
Okay, so, and then of course posture management is this big thing, right? Everything's become posture management. What's your point of view on posture management? It's not unimportant, but it's not everything.
Posture management is one pillar and one element of our thinking. If you look at the way we have looked at designing our platforms, we have posture management, provides you visibility, tells you who has the compliance problem, who has the data problem, what's the vulnerability, it tells you what, but it does not tell you how to detect it, how to control it, how to respond it. So you need the combination of posture management with detection, inline detection. With AI, you cannot afford anything but inline detection.
And that's where agency comes in, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you mentioned precision, you mentioned the platform. You got co-pilots is another big thing.
Yep.
Talk about those three things, precision, platformization of security, and also the role of co-pilots.
Absolutely. Precision AI is about technology and implementing AI and getting it right every time, because that's the only way we can do it. That's about an AI implementation in Palo Alto Networks. Platforms are about bringing all the data together and using precision AI to fight against detection, controls, response, all of that stuff, and automate it. Copilots are about making it easy to use the platforms. So, three distinct capabilities.
In precision medicine, for instance, supercomputing has been a tailwind. How has the advancements in supercomputing, was it 45 exaflops I heard on stage today with the new TPUs, Ironwood, you're seeing massive surge on all clouds and on premise.
Absolutely.
NVIDIA, we've all been covering all that. Yeah. You got the horsepower now to run stuff. Does that make precision security better, and how?
Oh, so just as one of the announcements we had yesterday, we got announced as the AI Technology Partner of the Year for Google and the AI Technology Security Partner of the Year.
You are an AI company.
We are an AI company and we are the Partner of the Year. So the reason is we've been able to use technology that Google Cloud has enabled and being able to improve our models, improve the precision and attack capabilities that we can use. Zero-day attacks, looking at patterns and recognizing those patterns and forecasting those patterns, autonomously creating playbooks to prevent any attacks to happen. So we are using this technology, the GPU, the infrastructure, the models, Vertex AI models to improve that.
That's a boost for you guys, big time.
Yeah,
and the data platform. I mean, you guys are big query users as well. I mean,
15 New York public libraries of threat data on a daily basis, which is the largest public library in the world.
On the threat data, talk about the landscape of threats. Are there models emerging, or the ones that you're seeing clearly? Are there lines forming on the threat landscape? You say these are the 5 models, or these are the 3 we see. What's the threat landscape look like to you guys?
Excellent question. I wish I had an LLM just to tell me what the new threat is going to be, because there's so many new threats happening on a daily basis. We have organized it in a very simple way to think about it. It's a framework. Framework is as accurate as a framework can be. This question of what are the threat kind of data-related issues that can happen. Data poisoning as an example. And I like to use the Tesla example, bring it back. Suppose in a stop sign you have 25 miles an hour, you're poisoning Tesla to think that's 25 miles an hour zone, and guess what's going to happen to the stop sign? So that's data poisoning for you. Then the second thing is model, and how you can exfiltrate model, how you can reverse engineer a model based on the outputs, and actually find out the models that you've trained with your IP and build your brand, how you can actually reverse engineer it and understand your IP. So that's the model related issue. Third is inferencing. Prompt injection is a very typical attack of inferencing. You can fool the inferencing engine to tell you something it doesn't want to tell you. Fourth is infrastructure attacks, denial of service, denial of agent usage, because now if you're going to depend on your life on running your business, you've got to make sure your infrastructure is secure, and anything entering that infrastructure is secure. And fifth is governance, which is equally and more important. Visibility, posture management, what are the actions, how do you train the models, what's your ethical behavior, what's your social behavior. So those are the 5 areas of risk that we see, and we are building capabilities to address those 5
I'm
areas.
sure there'll be more. I know we're tight on time, but I want to make sure I get in the mention and also discussion around Google. Obviously partnering with Google,
yes.
You're the VP of Cloud Engagement. That's the account you manage and work with. Again, we've had you on the Marvel series with Stephen Orban. Again, marketplace numbers are phenomenal. What is the relationship with Google, and how are you guys advancing on behalf of the enterprises that are platformizing their environments? They want to have a bridge to the future that's solid and reliable. Talk about the Google relationship and how that's working.
Google is a strategic partner of ours. We have stated that several ways in the last few years, and we talked about the big announcement from a go-to-market point of view. But the first thing is we build many of our software platforms on Google infrastructure. We also work on other cloud infrastructure providers. Doesn't mean that we don't, but we use a lot of the advanced capability Google has, BigQuery, Gemini, to build best-of-breed platforms, if you can call that best of breed. I'm going to bring both those words together now. The next place is we're using Gemini 2.5 to improve our Copilot, so how people consume our platform is equally important. You can build the best technology. If you don't know how people can consume it, it's not going to be valuable. So we are leveraging Google technology. But the biggest area of investments is helping enterprise secure their AI journey and accelerate their AI journey. We have over 76 integrations into several Google products that allow customers to easily consume our products and capabilities.
What's on the roadmap for this year? What's on your to-do list? So you got the numbers up and to the right, 1.5 billion, not too shabby, it's some real money there. Inference is happening in the cloud, the TPUs are going to give you some good boost there, more capability, so congratulations on that. What's on the agenda with the relationship? What can people expect?
So I was joking with Stephen yesterday, we were in a common panel, and he talked about his backlog being $96 billion, Google backlog. So I said, we should get about 5 or 10% of that share. That's our fair share of the market. So that's definitely something that's top of our mind. I mean, that's definitely an ambition. The second area is agents. We're going to be looking at how do we continue to help customers adopt more agents in a secure manner. And third area is we continue to enhance our platform. It's a breakneck speed. Every 3 months, you're going to evolve your thinking. And there's so many new things happening on a daily basis.
What's your market share today? It's less than 10%, right?
It is less than 10%.
And so, and Nikesh talks about 40% off the charts. My feeling is if you can get to 15% of the market, that says to me that platformization is actually winning. Yeah. So that's kind of my first milestone.
Yeah, I would say there are two dimensions to it.
Okay.
Because if you think about market share, that depends on the market size. But if I change the market size, I can keep the market share, I can still double my revenue.
Your point is the market triples.
With AI, the market itself is going to go to levels that we haven't thought about.
Yeah.
Because AI cannot be adopted without security, and we don't know what that, we have estimates of what it's going to be, but I don't think we know what we don't.
Yeah. And we talk to a lot of customers of yours and other vendors. Security resilience bar is so high on Gen AI right now.
Absolutely.
You can't run AI without security.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a great spring in your step. Congratulations on the performance
numbers.
Can't
run security without AI.
AI for security, security for AI.
It's a data problem. We've said many times on theCUBE. It's good to be right, Dave, looking back at the videotape, as we say, looking at our CUBE commentary. Munish, thanks for coming on again.
Thank you.
All smiles here on theCUBE. Business is good in security. I'm John Furrier, Dave Vellante, your host of theCUBE, with Savannah Peterson and Paul Nashwati. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thank you.